Hey y'all, so let's have a conversation while I do my skincare. If you don't know, around December of last year, God told me to completely give him my business. And I know y'all gonna be like, well, what does that mean, Miss Davis? Don't worry, I'll tell you. I had made an idol out of my business. I had made an idol out of several things in my life. And God was course correcting me. And I am so grateful that he did. The girl was heavy into idolatry. Didn't even know it. So, like I said, God told me to give him my business. He told me to stop selling. He told me to stop my website. He basically told me to sit at his feet. And at the time, my business was the only source of income that I had. So make it make sense. And I had just moved to Texas. I had only been here maybe 3 months. And you telling me to give up my only source of income? How that works? But let me tell you something. Every need that needed to be met was met. Idolatry is anything you love over your obedience to God, right? And so the reason I can say my business had became an idol is because I was so focused on selling my products, selling my merch, that I had totally disregarded the ministry aspect to what God told me to build. If you don't know, I am all things makeup, mentorship, and ministry. Well, baby, the makeup game was booming. The merch was booming. The ministry aspect, yeah, I was doing, Bible studies here and there. Even now, just being honest, not to the full standard of what God called me to, right? And so, God was like, no, hand it here. And I'm so glad that I did. And I'm going to tell you why. But like I stated, I was doing the makeup. I was halfway doing the ministry. But baby, I had totally put down the mentorship. Because let me tell you something. When you are not operating in the full obedience of God, you will make yourself think that you are not ready or qualified for the things he has called you to. So because certain things weren't looking how I thought they should look, I was like, God, I'm not ready to mentor nobody. So you can go ahead and wrap that up. That ain't how it works. So fast forward, some things happened in January, and when I am released to tell y'all, I definitely will. But some things happened in January that really put me in a very low state of thinking. It's gonna be transparent because he's leading me to be this transparent, y'all. I had gotten to the place where if I went to sleep and did not wake up, I was okay with that. I felt like I had done what I was sent here to do. Not on no suicidal ideations or none of that. I was just tired. I was tired. Spiritual warfare was at an all-time high, and baby, your girl was tired, okay? But we praise Jehovah for praying friends and people who will stand in the gap for you when you can't stand in the gap for yourself, and people who will not leave you when you're at your lowest. We honor God for people who can see your humanity and pull you out of a pit. So fast forward, some decisions had to be made. Decisions where I felt like, God, is this really you? God, did you tell me to move to Texas? God, this ain't looking how you told me it was gonna look. Like, I know you gave me the ending, but this middle is looking real suspect right now. That makes me want to forfeit the promise, okay? So we're gonna fast forward through February. We get to March. March begins to look a little bit brighter. March begins to do what it's supposed to do as far as me knowing who I am, walking in my purpose, right? So March is good. We get to April. April is actually a little bit better because I can say with full assurity that I have laid down every single item. Every single item that was taking over my life. Remember, an idol is anything you love over your obedience to God, okay? So As I am getting ready to embark upon May, I made the decision that I am just gonna do this thing full-fledged. I ain't no more asking questions, no more feeling if I'm worthy, no more trying to figure out, okay, God, is this really what you have for me? Okay, God, are you sure you want me to operate in this capacity? God, are you sure you want me to take on this mentee? Y'all, because I had somebody seek me out for mentorship. I ain't even told y'all the part about how I was disobedient and did not release what God told me to release into the earth. Because again, I told y'all I felt like I was not, like life was life in it. I didn't feel like nobody could learn from my life, right? So somebody actually sought me out. Actually, at this point, 3 people have sought me out to be their mentor. So I'm like, okay, God, let me just go ahead and do what you told me to do. And I shared briefly on one of my videos that y'all have seen where, you know, I was thinking something and God was like, you don't believe. And I was like, yeah, God, I trust you. And God was like, yeah, you trust me, but you don't believe me. So y'all, I made a decision today, April 30th, 2024. And I decided that I was just going to trust and believe God. I said, God, I said, Big G, you got it. I surrender. I can't do it in my own strength. I can't do it in my own right. So God, whatever the path is that you have for me, baby, it's yours. It's yours. And so now I'm at a space where my mind, I don't know, if you're creative, I think you're going to understand this part. When you're creative and you have those blocks where you can't think of nothing, you feel like you just stuck. Let me tell you something. Baby, the ideas, and here's the thing, I'm a visionary. I can see for everybody else, but sometimes it's hard for me to see for myself. Baby, let me say something. The last 2 days, he just been doing this. He's just been doing this. And the thing is, he's always been talking. But I was so focused on the other noise that I could not hear what he was saying. And so I just came on here again. I told y'all I was coming on here, do my skincare. Shameless plug. Go ahead and order your 24K golden gold. But yeah, I just came on here just to let somebody know and to encourage somebody. I know it may not look like what you thought. And I know sometimes you get tired. I'm talking about drained from the journey. But baby, one thing I know for certain is that if God said it, it's as good as settled. Now there are things we have to do. There's a part we have to play. But do not for 1 second forfeit the promises of God just because you think the battle is too much. Let me tell you something. At the end of your strength is when God is made strong. So be weak. It's okay to be weak. Be weak so that you can put on the strength of God. And if you made it thus far in this video, because this is probably the longest video that I've ever made, I want to go ahead and congratulate you. May is about to be the most amazing month that you've seen thus far. If you have done these things, you've repented, you've renounced, and you've torn down every altar of idolatry in your life. Idolatry is not just about a person. Idolatry can be a place or a thing. So tear down them altars of idolatry. Repent for allowing anything to overrule your obedience to God. Renounce any demonic covenants that you've created. And baby, begin to walk in the blessings of the Lord. I pray y'all have an